Admiral Kethvar of the Hegemony Collective watched the tactical display with satisfaction as 10,000 warships emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the Sol system. The largest armada ever assembled in galactic history stretched across space like a metallic constellation, their hulls gleaming with the promise of inevitable victory. "Target confirmed," reported his tactical officer, her forearms dancing across the control interface. "Third planet from the star. Population, approximately 8 billion humans." The Admiral's mandibles clicked in approval. After the humiliating defeat at Proxima Centauri, where a single human cruiser had somehow destroyed an entire hegemony battle group, the Council had authorized this overwhelming response. No species, especially not some backwater primitives, who had only achieved faster-than-light travel a century ago, would be allowed to defy the Collective's authority. "Begin the advance," Kethvar commanded. "Standard formation. I want those humans to see their doom approaching." The Armada moved, forward with inexorable purpose, a wall of destruction that had conquered 100 worlds. Dreadnoughts the size of cities, carrier-class vessels pregnant with fighter squadrons, and enough firepower to crack a planet's crust, all focused on one blue-green world that dared to resist. As they crossed the orbit of the system's gas giant, proximity alarms began sounding across the fleet. "Contact!" The sensor operator's voice cracked. "Single vessel bearing 27 Mark IV, human design." On the main screen, a lone ship materialized from seemingly empty space. It was sleek where hegemony vessels were bulky, elegant where they were industrial. The human battleship Indomitable hung in space like a silver needle, impossibly small, against the approaching tide. Kethvar's laugh was a harsh, chittering sound. "One ship? They send one ship against 10,000? "Sir," his communications officer interrupted, "we're receiving a transmission." "Put it through." The view screen shimmered, revealing a human female in a crisp blue uniform. Her dark hair was pulled back severely, and her eyes held an unsettling calm. "I am Captain Sarah Chen of the United Earth Navy," she said, her voice carrying across the void with crystalline clarity. "You have entered human space with hostile intent. This is your only warning. Turn around and leave." The bridge erupted in laughter. Even Kethvar found himself amused by the audacity. "Captain Chen," he replied, spreading his forearms wide. "Surely you can see that you are outnumbered 10,000 to 1. Surrender now, and we may allow some of your species to serve as laborers." Chen's expression didn't change. "Admiral Kethvar, I presume? We've studied your tactical records. Your species has a saying, 'Death before dishonor.' We humans have a different philosophy, victory at any cost." She leaned forward slightly. "You want to know what happened at Proxima Centauri? We happened. And now you're about to learn why humanity doesn't just survive, we transcend." The transmission ended. For a moment, the bridge was silent. "Target that ship," Kethvar ordered. "All forward batteries." 1,000 weapons turned toward the Indomitable. Energy beams, plasma torpedoes, and kinetic projectiles streaked across space in a display that should have vaporized any vessel known to galactic civilization. The human ship didn't even try to evade. Instead, something impossible occurred. The weapons simply stopped existing. Not blocked, not deflected, but erased from reality itself, leaving only empty space where annihilation should have bloomed. "What?" Kethvar began. The Indomitable moved. Not with engines or thrusters, but with a fluid grace that defied physics. Space around it seemed to ripple, and suddenly it was among them, dancing between massive dreadnoughts like a silver ghost. What followed wasn't a battle, it was an execution. The human ship's weapons defied every law of war the hegemony understood. Instead of energy beams or projectiles, reality itself became a weapon. Entire dreadnoughts simply ceased to exist. Not destroyed, but edited out of the universe as if they had never been. Others found their atomic structures rearranged, transforming from vessels of war into expanding clouds of component elements. "Impossible," Kethvar whispered, watching his armada dissolve. "No species has technology like this. Our intelligence reports showed them barely capable of faster-than-light travel. His tactical officer was hyperventilating. "Sir, we've lost 3,000 ships in the first minute. They're not using any weapons we can identify or defend against." The Indomitable paused its dance of destruction, hanging motionless among the wreckage of what had been the hegemony's most powerful fleet. Captain Chen's voice filled the bridge once more. "You came here expecting to find primitives," she said, her tone educational, almost gentle. "You're not entirely wrong. 100 years ago, we were confined to one world, barely reaching our own moon. But you see, Admiral, humanity has one trait that sets us apart from every other species in the galaxy." Another wave of hegemony ships vanished from existence. "We adapt, we learn, and when we're threatened, we evolve." Chen's smile was serene and terrifying. "What you're witnessing isn't advanced technology. It's humanity's true nature finally, unshackled. We don't just use tools, we become them. We don't just study physics, we rewrite it." Kethvar's remaining 5,000 ships opened fire simultaneously. The combined firepower could have sterilized a solar system. The weapons reached the Indomitable and simply stopped, frozen in space like insects in amber. "Your species conquered worlds through superior numbers and firepower," Chen continued as the frozen weapons began to dissolve. "You never learned to transcend your limitations because you never needed to. But humans, we've spent our entire existence fighting impossible odds and winning." The Indomitable resumed its impossible dance. Reality bent around it like a conductor's baton, orchestrating the symphony of the Armada's destruction. Ships collapsed into singularities, others transformed into clouds of quarks, still others simply faded away like forgotten dreams. In 15 minutes, 10,000 warships became cosmic dust. Kethvar found himself alone on his bridge, his crew having fled to escape pods that no longer existed. The Indomitable hung before his flagship's viewport, beautiful and terrible. "Why?" he asked, his voice barely a whisper. Captain Chen appeared one final time. "Because you threatened our home, Admiral. Because you believed might makes right. Because you forgot the most important rule of the universe." Her eyes blazed with an inner fire that seemed to burn across space itself. "Never threaten a species that has nothing left to lose, and everything to prove." The last thing Admiral Kethvar saw was silver light, beautiful and absolute, as reality itself gently erased his existence. The Indomitable turned toward Earth, leaving only empty space where the greatest armada in galactic history had once proudly sailed. In the void, Captain Chen's final transmission echoed across the stars, carried by quantum entanglement to every corner of the galaxy. "Humanity is no longer confined to the laws you thought immutable. We are the next step in cosmic evolution. Challenge us at your own extinction." The message was clear. Earth was no longer just another world to be conquered. Earth was untouchable.